I'm back here once again in southwestern Florida at my home, and there's a video that I've been wanting to make for a long time. When I'm out camping and overlanding, there's nothing better than a nice hot drink, right? But I don't drink coffee. I tried that when I was in the Air Force in my younger days. I don't know who made it, but it was terrible, and I never ever wanted to taste it again. So what I like is a cup of hot chocolate. And I like a cup of hot chocolate regardless of whether I'm camping or not. I make one every day here in the morning at home. And the recipe that I finally decided is probably the best that I've ever had is one that only has 4 ingredients. And you see those ingredients right here. The base of it is almond milk. I use organic almond milk. It doesn't matter what kind. I have tried coconut milk by itself, and that doesn't turn out very well. I have tried mixing coconut milk with almond milk, and that works pretty good. But the substantial part of it, in my preference, is going to be organic almond milk. The other ingredients are vanilla. This is vanilla extract. Organic cocoa powder, which has a lot of antioxidants and flavonoids in it, so it's good for you. And maple syrup. And again, I go organic, so this is organic maple syrup. If you've ever found vanilla extract that says it's organic, let me know in the comments down below. I'd like to know about that. I'll either use a very large cup, and this particular cup is 2 cups, 2 measuring cups, or 16 fluid ounces. And this one is about 1 1/3 cups. And it's still a fairly large cup compared to a lot of cups that you might have in your cupboard. So the very first thing that I do, and we'll do this in a moment, is I take the almond milk and I pour it into the cup that I'm going to use. And I found the best way to do that, well, first of all, is shake it, make sure that it's all shaken up really well. And instead of pouring it like this, which will cause it to gurgle and splash, and then I find splashes coming out and stuff, I turn this around so that the opening is now on the top, and now I can control the flow, and it comes out easily without gurgling or doing anything. And so I'm going to go ahead and fill this up. And what do you know? It's just, I filled it up and I used it all at the same time. So, okay, so now that I have that filled up, I'm going to put it into my saucepan. And I'm going to walk over to the sink and do that just to make sure I don't spill anything. And I rotate the cup around like this so that nothing drips down the sides. Hopefully nothing drips down the sides, right? Okay. We set the pot on the burner, and I've got it about medium right now, and I'm going to let this warm up. The reason I let it warm up first before I put the ingredients in is because the cocoa powder does not mix well when it's cold. When it's hot, then it's a lot easier to mix in. While that's heating up, let's talk a little bit about the proportions, particularly the amount of cocoa powder compared to the amount of maple syrup that we put in there. Basically, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. However, if you taste it and it tastes a little bitter, then it needs to become a little sweeter. So I might put in half a teaspoon of maple syrup. Vice versa, if it's too sweet, then I'll add a little bit more cocoa powder. And then, going forward, I'll adjust accordingly the next time that I make this, because it's kind of a learning process. So for this one, which is about 1 1/3 cups, I will put in a level tablespoon of both of these ingredients, the cocoa powder and the maple syrup. For my larger cup, which is 2 full cups, and that's the one I usually make it in that case, I'm going to use slightly more than a tablespoon of each of these two. And again, that's just practice. But once you get it right, oh, it is good. It really is good. So, all right, now we do not want to necessarily let this boil. So again, I'm just kind of heating it. And when it feels hot enough, then I'm going, and maybe even when it starts to steam, but not boil, then I'm going to put the ingredients in it. Okay, it's starting to get warm. So we'll take the cocoa powder. And I hope I don't get this all over the place. But as you can see, I've got slightly more than a tablespoon. That might even be too much, to be honest with you. But we'll try it. So we'll put it in here. I'll just kind of tap it around, spread it out in there. Now, I put the cocoa powder in first so that then I can put in the maple syrup without having to get a second measuring spoon. So there we are, and I just let a little extra in there. It's a full tablespoon plus a few drops, and maybe that's not enough for the amount of powder that I put in. I'm guessing that I'll probably have to put in just slight more of that. And then the vanilla extract. The amount that we put in is 1/4 of a teaspoon. But you know, I've made it without the vanilla, and it's just fine. If you put too much in there, then I don't think that's good. But roughly 1/4 of a teaspoon, you know, it doesn't have to be that accurate. That's fine. All right. So we've got all of that going. Then we get our secret weapon. Now, I've used a fork. I used a fork for a couple of years, actually. And, you know, I'd whip it around in there, and it takes time with a fork. Plus, if you're not careful, it splatters. But I got good at it and wouldn't splatter anything. But this is a tiny little whisk that my sister gave to me, and I just love it. So what I do then is, now this is good and warm, I just take and whisk it around fairly quickly in here. I'm able to do this very quickly. It doesn't splatter that way. I'm kind of going along the bottom to try to get the maple syrup up off the bottom, making sure it's not going to caramelize or anything in there. And as I whip it, it's foaming, it's creating a little bit of a foam. If you can see that. And it's starting to steam. You can see that. It's not boiling. I don't know what would happen if it boiled. Probably nothing. But I've never let it boil. So I can't tell you. Alright. So this is looking good. It's nice and dark and rich. I can smell it. Oh, I wish you could smell it over the camera. It's good. Okay, so that's broken up all the clods in there. I'm probably doing it a little more than need be. We're in good shape. I immediately go over and rinse this off. And as you can see, it's still in good shape. Been using it for a while. The final step is clean the spoon. And of course, there's more than one way to clean the spoon. Alright, then I'm going to again go over to the sink, and I'm going to pour this wonderful hot chocolate into this big mug. And we'll turn off the burner. Set that out of the way. Now the pan's ready for the dishwasher. So we'll set it aside. Perfect for my liking. Again, if it was just a little bit bitter for you, then just add a little bit more maple syrup. And then the next time that you make it, you'll have a better idea of the proportions of each that you want to use in there. So you can make a really small cup, or you can make a very large cup. But whatever you do, whatever size you use, you want to get that balance between the bitter and the sweet so that it comes out perfect for you. Thanks for watching. If you have a favorite recipe that you use for hot chocolate, leave it in the comments down below. Or what do you think of this process? If you like it, give it a thumbs up, and certainly subscribe. We'll see you in the next one. Hey, it's Steve Frazier again. I want to give you a special shout for making it all the way through this video. I hope that you enjoyed it. And because you did, here's a special tip. Instead of carrying around a jug of maple syrup that weighs something and that you also have to refrigerate, why not take and crystallize it? Turn it into maple sugar. And then you can carry that sugar around, and it doesn't require refrigeration, and it weighs a lot less. On my last trip, I took several packets of it that I had cryo-packed or vacuum packed, in a food saver. And I would open one of those up and it would last a long time. And then when I was done with it, I'd open up the next one. Worked out really good. I think you'll like it. You can find instructions on the internet here on YouTube on how to do that. Sometime in the future, I'll probably put up a video also how I do it. Thanks for watching, and I hope I see you out there in the trails soon. I'm going to take